Hi Pisces, how are you all doing? Before we get into this, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm seeing some type of conflict going on here. It's like you want something, but part of you may feel like very resistant to this even. It feels like denying yourself of something that you want. Maybe you feel scared of something that you want. Or you could even recognize that something you want like may not be good for you, or you had thought that you wanted something and then you're recognizing that like things aren't as they seem. I'm getting like it seems like you're having a very, very strong reaction to something. It looks like there's something very big that you've accomplished. This can relate to many different things. For some of you specifically, I'm seeing related to career. I'm looking at Leo here. For some of you, you may be getting some more attention on you. Maybe something was very successful, something even took off for you. Something that you worked hard for. This can also be something that translates into your personal life as well, something that was very difficult to go through and something that took repetition to work through. Maybe having to find creative ways to get through something. It looks like in the end you are successful. However, you really had to dig deep in order to come out on the other side of this. It seems too like something you've accomplished is now a skill that you have. So maybe what you needed to learn on the way to where you are right now, there's some valuable things that you've picked up that now you feel very good about, like a skill set that you've been developing even, or something you know how to do now, or you like even having more self-confidence. I'm looking at the Six of Wands and the Strength card here. It seems too like you really trusted yourself with something. Maybe with someone. This could have been someone that you had a hard time dealing with in the past. Or this could be someone too that repetitively showed up in a way where they were not supportive of what you had going on. Like could have been a bit jealous of you. This can also be your own voice too. This is like, it can be a disparaging type of voice that we experience that tells us that like we're not good enough, or we're not going to accomplish the things that we're trying to accomplish, that we're not strong enough, stuff like that. So it's all about the energy. So whether this is coming from something internal or external, it's all about the frequency of this. So whatever it is that you've been battling, it seems like you've successfully done this. For some of you, I'm getting that this is, can be related to eating. Something with food, your relationship with food even. Maybe your health. This can even be too, like, you could have somebody repetitively in the environment that you've had a very difficult time working with this person's energy, and like time and time again, you like couldn't really figure out how to kind of persevere through this. And it seems like you knowing yourself, you trusting yourself, and you developing certain, like a certain perspective or even understanding, you know, because this can be someone where you tell them that you're working on something, and this person can come through in a way where, like, it seems like it's always not good enough, whatever it is that you're doing, stuff like that. And then understanding that, because we can take that away and be like, oh, this person never thinks I'm good enough, and like nothing I ever do will be good enough, stuff like that, you know. Just an example. And instead of taking it like that, there's a sense of understanding, like, why that person would be projecting that onto you, you know, because they don't think that certain things are good enough that they're doing, and that, like, they may be in an all or nothing mentality, you know what I mean? So there's a sense of, like, having compassion for this energy rather than taking it personally. And as I said before, this can absolutely be your own internal voice, like you being very hard on yourself too, where it's like you're either going to make it big or you don't make it at all, or like, again, this all or nothing mentality. And this is something that we have to deal with, especially as in society today, so many things are like made to be like it's the best thing ever or it's the worst thing ever, like caught in such an intense duality. And there's a sense of trying to figure out what that means for you, and like having things still be good enough and still okay even if they're not like the best, and maybe even getting that sense of comparison like out of the spectrum of how you're analyzing things. Because I think sometimes too, in order to grab our attention, people make it seem like everything is like a life or death kind of moment, and it's not usually like that. Like, very seldomly are things like such high intensity. Yeah. It looks too like karmically, again, whether this be your internal voice or somebody that you've been dealing with. And I mean, it really does come back to the internal voice at the end of the day. Because the people around us are just extensions of ourselves, if you adopt that mindset. It seems like this person was put in your life karmically in order for you to learn like how to process something in a more like developed, a more evolved state of consciousness, I'm hearing. I'm seeing you come out in the energy of the King of Swords here. I'm seeing a lot of air energy. This seems like something that would have been very trying, very difficult mentally on you, could have felt very draining. The emphasis is being put on you successfully doing this, starting off with the Six of Wands in the front. Because the Six of Wands is like you've gone through some type of battle and something that's been reoccurring, even that you've been fighting through, and you come out and you finally feel like you've succeeded or like you're victorious with something that you did, and you knew that you were strong enough to come against an energy that was mentally taxing on you. And understand too that this was karmically put in your path, and I'm seeing like a very tremendous skill that you've gained from this, and I'm seeing it be related to your mental skills. This means too picking and choosing who and what you want to confront, and knowing that that's not always the answer. Sometimes it is. Sometimes being direct and calling things out is necessary, but it seems like you are really being perceptive and applying what you need to apply to each situation individually. So this is like, instead of seeing every situation where you have a disagreement with someone as one where you need to like stake your claim and do whatever, there's a sense of asking yourself, is this person going to be receptive to what I'm saying? Like, am I doing this to prove a point? Is this coming from an ego space, or is this person open to having a conversation with me and we can actually get somewhere? And then opening up a conversation with someone, you know? Wow. Very, very philosophical energy, Pisces. I'm seeing, like, even a new wave that you're on right now. I'm hearing brilliant. I love that word. It looks like you're taking more care of yourself. You may be meditating more. I'm seeing someone with, like, it looks like they have a ball of energy in their hand. This can be related to energy work, Reiki even. Stuff within the astral realm. Could be, like, traveling, doing something like that. You could be doing some type of, like, esoteric work even. Like, you could be channeling. You could also be, like, I don't even know, like, mentally or energetically entering into different spaces, not physically. It looks like something that's going on astrally. It seems like you're getting more connected with yourself, even like the cosmos, things like that. The world. I'm hearing the world at large. Understanding how things work together. I'm seeing stuff about, like, plants and nature here. The moon. Crystals. I'm hearing lying on a bed of roses. Maybe that's a metaphor for something. I feel like I've heard that before. I don't know what that means. And the Two of Cups pops out with the two roses here. It looks like you're off in a direction. This is something that you may be starting off doing on your own. I'm seeing a lot of thought being put into how you're taking care of your needs and prioritizing yourself. Feeling a stronger connection when it comes to your relationship with your intuition. And it looks too like now another person is getting involved in what you have going on, Pisces. Maybe you're also looking for somebody that you connect with, like, on a soul level, especially intuitively. Like, maybe you're looking for some type of, like, even psychic or telepathic connection that you have with someone, which I feel like at first glance, like, to some people that may seem like, oh, that's really intense to have with someone, but it's more so like really being on the same wave with someone where it's like you're next to this person and all of a sudden you're thinking about how much you want a piece of gum and you ask the person next to you if they want it and they were like, I was just thinking that, you know, things like that. Because it seems deliberate, but also non-rigid, what you're looking for, what you're opening yourself up towards. This can even mean changing a dynamic that you have already with someone or allowing things to unfold in the way that they will, like allowing your relationships to prosper and grow and to fill out as they're meant to without needing them to be going in a certain way. I am looking at the Two of Cups next to the Lovers here. Yeah, it seems like this would be somebody budding feelings. This doesn't look like anything that's been developed. I'm also hearing it's not overdeveloped, it's also not underdeveloped. So it's something that's in development right now, just budding, or it's also around the corner for some of you. I'm hearing around the corner. It seems like this is also coming about because of the way that you've progressed upon your healing journey and also how you're able to understand your own energy now and what that looks like in relation to another person is what I'm hearing. What's so interesting is that in the first spread, it seems like there was a very, There was an energy that you were working with that feels like the opposite of like an empathetic or a compassionate energy, and it was something that you kind of had to like battle, if you will, against, like, but to do so in a way where mentally you were learning how to overcome something, like with a certain type of energy. And now on this like new road that you're on, it seems like you feel so much more connected with everything, and it seems almost like some type of mental wall needed to be broken down and like even broken out of so that you could expand and be able to like have access to this part of yourself. Because I'm seeing so much more connectivity than there had been before. But maybe you also felt, even subconsciously, like you couldn't connect to certain aspects of yourself before because mentally you needed to be guarded until you figured out a way to like properly defend yourself with some type of energy, you know, or like defeat it even, which would mean like gaining the most awareness of what this thing is so you understand it from all sides. It's like even getting to the point where something that at one point in time may have felt very threatening to you, especially your ego, and now in like the knowledge that you've gained, there's this sense of like you don't see this thing as a threat anymore because you understand it now. Yeah, so it's like something that before had some type of power over you does not have it anymore. Like you took your power back, but not through any type of like brute force or like hateful energy. It's through like deeper understanding of something that may have been a very foreign energy to you. This could mean too, like you met somebody and like you could have thought that you guys were similar too, and you end up realizing that they're like the exact opposite of your energy, and it kind of feels like someone that you were trying to figure out your way with and maybe did feel threatened by them or like the power that they had over you, and like didn't really know how to like, I keep saying battle, but I feel like that's the wrong word, like battle it out with this energy, so to speak. And because you learned about it and what that was, even though it was so very different from you, there's that sense of, again, not feeling threatened by this anymore. And at one point in time, I'm seeing that it could have like very much affected you. Like I'm getting mentally more than anything. I'm getting this really strong energy with the Five of Swords, and it was like something that you needed to work through intuitively even, and that also affected you mentally when you were dealing with this person's energy. I'm curious to know, the devil just popped out, why he's here. You may be feeling conflicted because you may be in a place where you're looking for something that you want to feel spiritually connected with. However, like your body also has needs too, and you may feel like you're in this like catch-22 even. Because I'm seeing the devil here be like physical needs even that your body wants met, but it may be clashing a bit with like spiritually or like even morally what you want. This can mean like attachments, addictions, or like things that we feel like we really need or that we think we're going to be satiated by. The thing with the devil being here though is that there's a sense of like never feeling satisfied by these things because the devil never comes through with what it promises. So there's a sense of like always being unsatiated if you go down that path. And it kind of feels like you know this too. However, that doesn't mean that it makes it not tempting anymore, because we are still humans and we do still feel these like impulses, you know. That's not something that goes away. It's inherent to us because we're in these physical bodies. For some of you too, there's something going on where you feel like you could have started something and you're like, I gotta work, and I don't have time to take a break. And it's like you have not been giving yourself time that you need. This may be a side note, but I am seeing this come up here. It's like you have to have the strength to put yourself to bed. Like, I'm seeing something like that. Or for you to just take a second and relax sometimes and not be doing so much. This is also talking to that part of you that's like, you can't just lay on the couch. You have to be doing something. You need to be efficient, you know? But this is also about remembering, too, that you need that time to, like, play and rest and relax, nourish yourself, give yourself a break. You're allowed to take time off. Because sometimes, too, like, I guess we're getting a little bit into the psychology of this. Some of us feel like our worthiness, we tie it to how effective we are in our accomplishments. And so if we're not actively doing something, we feel like a lower sense of self-worth because we've made a connection that doesn't exist except the one that we give it, you know? So we have put those things together and associated them with one another, essentially. And so when you break certain associations that you have, it allows you to like relax and see a zoomed out perspective. Because sometimes too, we need to ask ourselves, like, why does it not feel good to me, like mentally, for me to take a break? Or why do I feel on edge? Or why do I feel anxious? Or why do I feel like I need to keep working even when my body's telling me that I'm tired or I'm exhausted or that I need a break? And asking yourself like where these standards came from and really like what you're feeling. And that may be different for each of us too. So this is all about like your personal reflection and what you find in that space between you and yourself. Yeah, for some of you, you may like have something going on like in some type of industry, or like there's something going on even business related for you. But you want to be careful not to get too sucked into this. Yeah, whatever this is that at a certain point of time could have seemed very, very appealing to you, it's like almost too, it's like, you know, when how kids, for the most part, just generally speaking, they really like candy. And I mean, not that adults can't like it too, but it's like when you become an adult, you, like as a child would be like, I want to have candy all day and not want to eat other things like vegetables and stuff. You could have had an experience where like you were a novice with something, or you newly came into something, and it was like you were exposed to the candy and that's all you wanted. And then there's this sense of like growing beyond this energy and recognizing that rather than dealing with the consequences of that and understanding like the natural consequences of what it's like to be eating candy all day, there's a sense of development and recognizing that rather than jumping on things that you feel impulsively drawn to, like instant gratification or things that feel good in a moment, like all of those things, there's a sense of like wanting peace over that. Even if it means denying yourself something that you want impulsively, there's a sense of valuing your peace of mind, spiritual body, I'm also hearing, over the instant gratification of something, or doing something repetitively that you know is not healthy, being involved in something that you know is unhealthy for you. So as you've developed into this energy, there's a sense of you can moderate these things that you like you can moderate the candy now, but you also have other things additionally that are put into place to balance everything out. So there's not that like overload of what was happening before, where things are very, very out of balance. I'm also hearing, and there's a lack of dynamic. Like it seemed like there was a lack of dynamic before in something that was going on. Like I'm seeing you just in general be suspended in such a delicate place, but there's also a strength in that too. It seems like a delicate balance that that you're maintaining right now, but something that you've really cultivated the skills to be able to do. Especially how you pick up on your intuition. And for some of you too, for those of you that like channel, or like you get a lot of intuitive messages, and or like you get a lot of thoughts and stuff, and you try to pick through like which ones are the right ones, or like which channel is the right one to tune into. This is about like being able to tell the difference between like lower frequencies and higher frequencies too, because we can get all sorts of things that come through, and this is about being able to select the particular ones that you want to tap into, and clearing out the other ones that you don't want to be tapping into. And this can be with your thoughts as well. I'm hearing educational platform. Maybe some of you are teachers or something like that. I mean, I guess we're all teachers. It looks like there's a part of you that feels like you kind of got played out in the lottery. It's like you were open to connecting with someone, and you were there, and you were willing to show up, but it's like what the universe gave you was not somebody that was showing up in the same energy as you. And maybe some of you even feel too like you're not going to find what you look for, like thinking about that at times. Like I'm seeing some like regret or sadness even related to love and like how things turned out. I'm hearing part lottery, but I'm also hearing fortune. Isn't your part of fortune? That's something in astrology. But yeah, maybe you just feel like you haven't been particularly lucky when it comes to like close relationships or even like romance. At least when it comes to something long lasting. But it feels like this is a mind frame rather than like a truth. So it seems like a lens that this is being looked at through. Like maybe you just feel like you've been unlucky when it comes to love. It's interesting that that's being like thrown in here in the reading, but I am definitely getting that. Or maybe you're also still like mourning certain relationships that you've had too, and like how they've gone. Maybe thinking about things that like you did that you regretted, or that you wish you had been like more mindful of. But we're healing this. Okay. With the little star here. So yeah, it was like maybe the times when you were pulled towards things that seemed like they were what you wanted, but it ended up not being what you wanted. This is too, like when we're in an unhealed energy, it's about the things that you may have gravitated towards that never delivered what you were looking for. and overcoming the like internal conflict when it comes to like impulsively like what your predisposition is and what you desire versus what you want and what your higher self wants when you tap into those like higher aspects of yourself and higher frequencies. And it seems like you've had some time to think about the things that like you're going to be healing overall and that you are healing overall. And it looks too like after coming through a situation, I'm seeing like your outlook even on love be changing. And like for some of you too, it looks like you may be potentially meeting someone. I'm looking at the King of Swords, and under the King of Swords I'm looking at Gemini and Aquarius. They're really sticking out to me. I'm also looking at Leo and Capricorn here. But the way that the Leo and Capricorn energy is put, it seems like this could have been like part of your past, like the stuff that you were dealing with before, and now it looks like you're transitioning into more of the like Gemini and Aquarian energy. You may be attracting people with like prominence of those placements in their chart. But yeah, something overall is healing with your relationships, I'm seeing. And it does seem like somebody potentially is going to be coming through. But this may not start off romantically. This may be somebody that you have like a really strong mental, intellectual, I'm hearing conversation, also connection with. I'm also seeing the Queen of Cups. There's definitely potential for love here. If that's what you guys manifest together, I'm looking at the Magician and the Ace of Swords. Yeah, it would take time, as like anything does. Yeah, but it has like the potential to grow exponentially. It's just a test to see what you guys would make of that. Ooh, very interesting. That's a nice little ending. All right, my friends, we are going to end the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.